Proud of the way the guys punch back. It seems to be more and more evident this is true character by the way our guys continue to fight. Both pitchers outstanding out the gate and very difficult at-bats. And so very tight ball game. And those are the ones that you want to have because you know it brings out true character in guys. And even after the ninth inning, excitement, to turn around, get back in the dugout and watch how these guys interacted with one another and showed true faith in the guy who was going up to the plate, the guy behind him, the guy next to him. I mean, up and down the dugout, it's like, sweet, this is how it's supposed to be for us. This is what we thrive in. We thrive in difficult situations, and I'm proud of the way they responded. But up and down, just favorite play of the game for me, and there were many. I'll just say hard hit ball right at Ivar Arquette, and he wears it off his belly. He's throwing his body in front of it. He didn't side straddle it and let it go by. It just, again, goes to show the type of guys that we have here, and I'm proud of them for putting their body on the line. Gavin trying to make a spectacular play right there, knowing that if the guy's on second or third, not a big deal, but he laid out and he put his heart on his sleeve right there and gave it his best for the guys. So I'm proud of each of them for playing with real heart and grit, especially on a platform like this.
We'll open it up to questions for the student athletes.
Noah Bieniek, 11.7. Gavin, I asked you this question yesterday, and what a way to break your coach's career RBI record in the postseason. Can you talk about the moment and the jubilation that you felt with your teammates on the field?
Yeah, it was awesome. I thought I broke it the first RBI of the game, though. Am I wrong? Is that wrong? Because I went over. I gave it to him. Yeah. But
come on, shocker, right?
But no, that moment was awesome. Just happy to do it for the guys. So yeah.
Mark Garland, College Baseball Central. Wilson, catching Dax tonight. I mean, it seemed like everything you guys were calling was working. Was there anything special tonight? I know we talked a little bit earlier about the shadows going on. Just talk a little bit about how Dax was working the zone today.
Just coming right out of the gate, hitting spots, locating heaters, and then also landing off speed when you need to. It's an easy game when you do that, but it's also very complicated. So it's really fun back there when Dax is locating and doing his job because it's fun.
Yeah, Gavin, you mentioned breaking your coach's RBI record, but have you ever seen any footage of him playing here in Omaha?
I've seen a little bit, yeah.
It's not nothing.
I've seen
nothing to inspire them as far as the catching goes or anything like that.
More the rapping inspires us. So
yeah, that's good. Appreciate that. Let's keep the questions that way.
Dax, last week pitch count climbed a lot. I think you were up around 97 over 4 2/3. Today you're really efficient, obviously through the first 3 innings and even into, as your start went on. Can you talk about sort of the feel you had for your pitches, curveball in particular, and sort of how you were able to manage at-bats a bit better?
Yeah, I mean, just going out, trying to establish a fastball early. Just the goal today was fill up the zone, don't walk. That's been my big thing I've been working on lately is just don't walk guys, don't give them free bases. So establishing the heater early, and then they weren't doing too well on the curveball early, so I just kept spinning that thing over and over, and I felt like I could throw it in any count, and it made it pretty easy. And also, at the start after the first inning, Trent comes up to me and he's like, "You can't see anything at the plate right now." It's like, okay, I'll just keep throwing more curveballs then.
In the back.
Aaron Slindy, KVAL TV in Eugene. Gavin, just after that top of the inning, things don't go your way. Just what were the conversations like in the dugout heading into your at-bats that kind of gave you the confidence to be able to come back and have that offensive performance in order to win the game and avoid an elimination bracket that I know you guys are very familiar with?
Yeah, it was cool because it's the same thing every at bat for us. It's go up there and compete and try to hit the ball hard. And knowing that we had the top of the lineup up, I knew we had a real shot to do something dangerous. And as soon as Iva got on, opened a lot of possibilities up with the runner on first. So yeah, just getting in there and trying to get a good pitch to hit and hit it hard and let the game play itself out. So yeah.
Dax, I know we talked a lot in the preseason about the reasons for coming here. This has to be like the reason why you wanted to come to Oregon State, to get that kind of start on this kind of night and perform like that, right?
I mean, absolutely. This is the exact thing I had in mind when I made the decision to come to Oregon State. So it's kind of beautiful to see it all come into fruition here, and I wouldn't want to be doing it with any other group of guys.
Jake McKeever, College Baseball Central. Gavin and Wilson, you guys mentioned the shadows, but it felt like that second time through the lineup, y'all had much more competitive at bats, fouling pitches off. Is it really as black and white as the shadows getting better, or was there a change in the approach?
I'd say it's definitely real for sure, but even like the second time through, like what you're going to see, and it is a little bit better, but it's just kind of understanding and having a different approach by just kind of almost two-strike type thought. Be like, I'm going to get something in the zone and hit it rather than like trying to do damage too early.
Yeah, I think the shadows definitely play a part of it, but everyone's got to deal with them. So knowing that, just see the ball a little bit deeper and compete even harder. So.
Wilson, knowing how familiar you guys are with the elimination bracket, knowing how hard it is to come back and be successful in the elimination bracket when your back's against the wall, I know that's a feeling that you guys are very used to, but how important was it? And what was there a sigh of relief kind of when you saw Gavin hit that ball and you saw Iva come be safe at home plate? Was there a bit sense of a relief knowing that you guys did avoid an elimination bracket off of the first game, and what does that mean?
It honestly wasn't going through my head in the moment at all, but definitely it's nice to not have to go through that from the get-go. But it's just kind of goes to show that we're not out of it till the last out, and even if they did put up even 2 more runs that inning, we still probably would have done what we did and came back and won it. So that's kind of how I saw it.
Dax, Wilson, Gavin, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
Now we'll open it up to questions for Coach.
You're good.
Coach Andrew Idell, College Baseball Central. Can you talk about the maturity you saw from Dax on the mound today, especially being a freshman pitching Game 1 in the biggest stage in college baseball?
Yeah, I think the moment obviously highlights that even more, but how he's gone about his work all year, I wasn't surprised to see that. Playing in front of 25,000 people, national television, the greatest show on dirt. Like he said, he's been dreaming about that before he got here. So this wasn't his first time stepping on that stage. Each of those guys have visualized it. When they work with Zach Taylor on doing our mental skills and visualizations, like that's part of it, is putting yourself in that arena in those big moments, facing the other 7 best teams in the country. And so I personally wasn't shocked. I was calmed knowing he was going out there and competing, because I know what he's put himself through. And even watching his bullpens or anything else, he works at such a high level of intensity that it wasn't shocking, I don't think, for any of us.
Ari Gerson from USA Today. Mitch, you played here as a player, but first of all, what does it mean to you to be back here for the first time as a coach? And then what is different about the experience, leading the team instead of playing for it?
I wouldn't say I'm leading the team. I think these guys are doing that themselves. There's leadership all around them. Sometimes it's just smart to get out of their way and let them go about their business. We work extremely hard in practice all the time, and the games are for them to go out and let loose and show their talents. And so a lot of the times, you put together a game plan. Gibson does a great job coordinating with our hitters, making sure that they have a great plan of attack. And that second time through, just the small things about how we're going to shorten up and see the ball. I mean, each pitch that we see gives us more of an advantage as the game goes on. Dax said it too. I don't want to walk guys. The more pitches they see, it makes it harder on the bullpen. And so, like, being here is more fulfilling than being here as a player, I think, because I get to watch so many other people have joy and turn around and look at Beaver Nation supporting us the entirety of the way, and watching these guys just glow. You don't necessarily see that as a player. You're kind of, you're with the guys and enjoying it, but now like when you're playing, you're out there busting your butt and sweating it out pretty good. But right now you get to sit back and you get to watch Ivar, Ketz, Joy. You get to watch each of those guys competing and coming back and communicating with each other even more, and like the joy is double of what it was as a player. And those were amazing times that still bring, like, you got to choke back tears when you're watching the highlights of it from way back when. It was black and white, but I still watch them. No.
Noah Darling, College Baseball Central. Coach, kind of building off of that, pretty well documented. Pat Casey was here tonight. ESPN was kind of all over that. But when you think about the memories of that time that you just mentioned and just being around Casey as a head coach at that time, and when you're in a game like this, topsy-turvy, what do you think about in those moments that Casey might have done back then, and how has he remained a mentor for you?
It was awesome to see him. I saw him this morning when we got back to the hotel after doing some interviews, and saw him and his wife rolling out of the hotel. So definitely got a big hug and excited that he's here. And I didn't expect to see him on the Jumbotron either. I know that's not his cup of tea, is to be in that situation. But tremendous mentor, always has been, always will be. And if anything, what I've learned from my wife, Coach Casey, and every other mentor that I've had and special person in my life, those moments that you start to feel a little sped up, I was actually, I felt a sense of calm come over me, and just trying to stick with the process of what situations we have at hand, what could possibly come up, and being prepared, trusting your gut, but also, having strong faith and being around people that are like strong in their faith as well allows you to be calm, because at no point are you alone, right? You always have him with you. And so, and not only that, do I have Jesus with me, I have all the guys in the clubhouse with me and all of Beaver Nation. So how would I ever feel overwhelmed or nervous when I have all of that with me? And that's a very powerful thing, and I'm grateful for that. And as I've grown older, it's I think it's helping me with my longevity of life instead of stressing out all the time.
Jake McKeever, College Baseball Central. Mitch, Gavin and Iva both had defensive miscues in the top of the ninth, and then immediately flushed it and had fantastic at-bats. What does that say about the resiliency of this team? And did that cross your mind when Iva had the error that he was coming up second in that inning?
Well, I knew prior to that, usually like seventh inning, I was already like trying to get an idea of what was going to happen in the eighth, where we're at in the ninth. So if we can, press on the bases a little bit more. You want to make sure that you're not cutting your outs short coming up for that possible ninth inning if something does happen. So it mitigates a little bit of risk that we're going to take earlier on. But knowing those guys were there, like that's where a ball gets to the fence. I mean, we were talking about, I look all around the field and I'm looking at Gold Glovers. Those guys steal the heck out of bases. We got a good time to the plate. Wilson threw a dart to second, puts on a great tag. We're in a good spot. No one's on base. Okay, they get another hit, and the ball kicks around a little bit here and there. But the worst thing you can do is panic, right? You got to take a breath, and even if the game's tied, we still get to hit, and we're at a great spot in our order. And when I say a great spot in our order, I mean it's our turn to hit. That's always a good spot to be in. And how these guys work day in and day out, that gives me that confidence in those moments. And I know if I'm not feeling confident, it's going to spread to the rest of the guys. And so you're constantly looking at the lineup card and looking at the guys, and you're breathing that positivity into existence. And so Ivar Arquette's made 4 errors all year, and he was trying to make a really immaculate play for the guys. AJ Singer's made 1 error all year. That guy is a magician with the glove. Our guys work extremely hard, and so sometimes those things are going to happen. And I'm not surprised, but also very proud of how they responded to each of those things that happen. And isn't that how it always works out? There's a miscue, and then that guy wins the game or whatever. But Gavin did the right thing going after the ball right there. It didn't matter if he missed it or not. It was going to be a hit, so might as well try to take one away when you got a 2-run lead.